Good morning and welcome to Coffee Time with Kauffman, the comfortable place to talk about women's leadership. Today I'm here with Wendi Hatton. Hey, Wendi.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. Wendi Hatton helps coaches showcase their expertise, attract premium clients, and make bigger impact using LinkedIn. She is a Navy veteran and a success specialist. Her success story and calm nature are something that must be shared with the world of women's leadership. Wendi has a powerful max value formula to share with us. But before I get into that, my name is Maria Kauffman, and I'm an engineer turned life coach. And today I am drinking a dark roast, and I went a little heavy on my white chocolate mocha creamer. What are you drinking, Wendi?
Well, I just have some water here. That's kind of boring, but that'll do, I guess.
That's so perfect. Actually, a lot of my guests actually don't drink coffee. It seems, a lot of tea, a lot of water drinkers. I'm terrible at water.
Well, it's great for when you're speaking because your voice and your tongue gets all dry. So this will be good to have right beside me.
I guess it's better when I'm asking just the questions and you're doing more of the talking.
Right.
Awesome. So Wendi, tell us about yourself. I can't wait to get into all of the good stuff, but let us know maybe just a little bit about who you are and how we came to be on this call together.
Well, actually, it was you who reached out to me on LinkedIn, and you showed me a previous show that you had just done the previous week. And I watched it, and I was so mesmerized by it. And I was amazed by the energy coming from you. Well, actually, from both of you, but you had so much energy. I said, yes, I'm going to hop on this. So, so I am I'm also a musician. I'm a clarinetist. I was in the Navy band for many years and started coaching after I retired because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do after I retired. I think the logical thing was to start a studio of clarinet students, which I hadn't been doing in the Navy band. So I thought, okay, I guess I'll start doing that. But then, it was fun teaching the kids how to play clarinet and everything. But I just felt like there was something missing. I felt like I could make a bigger impact some way. And that's how I found coaching. And I actually started out as a health coach. That's because a health coach helped me. And then that was my first experience with coaching, and it worked. It helped me lose a lot of weight. So I said, I want to help other people lose weight too. So that's when I started coaching. I went through the whole training and everything. So then I was a health coach for about 1.5 years. And then after that, I had started a show. Back then, there was no Zoom or anything. So I had a blog talk radio show with 2 other health coaches, and we interviewed people every week of different niches. And we thought this was back in 2012. And we thought at the time that coaching wasn't as commonly known to the general public. So we said, this would be a great idea if we just interview coaches from all different niches, and people can sort of get an idea of what coaching's all about. And the coaches can share their story and their message. And so it's like a win-win situation. So we did this for about 5 years. And at the time, I built relationships with some of the coaches, and a lot of them shared with me how they didn't have any clients. They didn't know how to get clients. And I thought that was such a shame, because the interviews, they gave us so much value. We thought that we were getting our own coaching sessions each time. So I said, I want to help these coaches. So I had experience, building my clarinet studio on how to grow a business. So I thought maybe I should just get a little bit more like formal training on, the authentic way of selling and getting your name out there and everything. So that's what I did. And that's what I've been doing. I've been helping coaches. And then the LinkedIn story came in a little bit later. I was like a lot of people are right now. I had no idea what LinkedIn was about. And yes, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So at the time I was a musician. And so I would bring in all of these friends and family and musicians and all of these people that I knew before I knew that you're supposed to actually build
Oh.
your network of people, of potential clients and collaboration partners. So after I learned how to do it the right way, I had to start all over again. I had probably like 200 or so of the wrong people on my network. So, oh gosh. So
That
it's
is so fascinating. Oh my gosh, you've told us so much already. Oh my goodness. Okay, so keep going.
oh,
So,
oh,
and
okay.
because I love the idea of the LinkedIn, I was very, very, I'll say shy on LinkedIn. I don't know why. I don't know. Like, even as an engineer, how many conferences I went to and these other things, I was not as smart as you were, even in the wrong way.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, LinkedIn, that platform is really it's different. You'd really have to know the right way. You have to have the right strategy and just the right structure so you know what to do, when to do it, and how to build relationships on it. So I thought I didn't really just start teaching LinkedIn because I wanted to or even planned on doing it, but just people just started asking me like, "How did you do that? Like, what do you do on how is it that you do LinkedIn so well?" And so I had just taken some courses to learn, and I implemented everything I learned, and so I started
Were they
saying, "Oh,
linked? Were they LinkedIn courses?
they were."
Okay.
Yeah, they were LinkedIn in courses. So just like every other course or program that you take, if you take action and you'll get results, but a lot of people don't take action. So so anyway, I just started answering people's questions. I was thinking maybe I should start teaching this myself. And so that's when I started working with people one on one on helping them leverage LinkedIn as a platform for them to showcase their expertise and get people to know their brand and their message. And then I thought, okay, one-on-one is fine, but what if I did some groups? And so I got invited to do some workshops, and I said I really like the workshop model because people sort of feed off of each other. They ask questions and the other person said, "Oh yeah, what about that?" So that's what I really am passionate about, is helping in groups, helping people leverage LinkedIn and just get their message out. And that's why I developed the methodology I'm going to share to help them just understand it and remember, what in what order to do what on LinkedIn so that they can have success. So, yeah,
Awesome. Can I ask a couple questions first?
of course.
So I'm super interested in at least two things. One, why the Navy? What got you into the Navy? We'll do that one first.
Okay. So the reason I got into the Navy is when I was about to graduate from grad school in clarinet, the next step was to find somewhere to play. So the Navy just happened to have an opening. I didn't say I want to be in the Navy. Is you just look and see what openings there are, and you go audition, and whatever audition that you make, you win. That's the place that you end up. And I had done other auditions as well, the Marines, the Air Force, and the even the Army. But for some reason, the Navy people, they just ate me up. They're just like, "We want you." So
Oh,
it really just depends on what they need, in terms of how you sound. If it's what they're
oh.
looking for, the type of sound that you have, if you do well technically, and then personality wise. I remember one of the other auditions I did, it was kind of a bomb. I didn't do very well. So one of the steps in that particular one was sitting in a rehearsal, like next to the person who was sitting first chair. And so I was so nervous that I just made a bunch of mistakes playing, trying to sight read the music that they were playing. So that was one of my very first ones. So that one didn't go very well. So finally, keep doing things over and over in order to get good at it and perfect it. So finally, after the fifth or sixth audition, I got into the Navy. So there wasn't any kind of I need to get into the Navy kind of thing. It's just what was open and what you actually were able to get into.
That's
So,
a great story. I love it on so many ways because it also, like, I hooked onto this part where you talked about your sound. So even
oh,
though it's a clarinet and you're maybe even playing it technically great, and all these other things, there's something that you uniquely bring to playing the clarinet.
Correct. That
That's
is correct. Mhm.
fascinating, actually.
Yeah, so many people play clarinet, just like in business. So many people do the same thing that you do, but you have your own special, unique way of presenting it or doing it. So I guess they liked the way I did it in the Navy. So,
Awesome. Well, the other question was, why the clarinet?
oh, wow. Okay, so this is kind of a funny story. When I was in third grade, that's when I started playing
Yeah,
clarinet. My
me too.
parents took me to a music store and said, "Hey, let's see if you can play an instrument." So we walked in, and they said, "You can either play flute or clarinet." I said, "I don't know which one." So the guy in the back, behind the counter, he pulled out a clarinet and he pulled out a flute, and he played the flute first, and he must not have been very good because I didn't really like it that much. But then he pulled out that nice shiny with all the keys and everything, and he started playing in it and said, "That's what I want to play." I don't know. It just kind of I resonated with clarinets much more than I did with flute, and I don't know. I don't know why to this day. When I went to college, I had to learn all the other instruments, and when I tried playing flute, I could never do it. I got headaches almost because all the air, excuse me, all the air that went it through, excuse me, just did not work for me. So
Wow. That
yeah,
is
so
a funny story.
right, it's
You were
really amazing.
destined, obviously destined for the clarinet.
It seems that way. It does. And we even went to a marching band game, like a football game in the nearby in the town that we lived in. And when the marching band played during halftime and the clarinets had this little section where they played this really low part, I was I was mesmerized. I said, I have to play this. Yes. So that's how clarinet. And so I just ended up playing. I could continue playing clarinet all the way through, even to now. I'm still performing in my local orchestra. So I guess
Wow.
that's So I
It's
really
part of you.
carry right, and I carry over that whole the musical talent and perspective to my coaching because music is such a collaborative activity. Like if you're playing in a group and one or two people just don't sound good, they're out of tune, they're playing the wrong notes, then that makes the whole group not sound great at all. Same thing with business. If you're trying to collaborate with people and then you're in a little group and some of the people are not on the same page, they don't have the same values or goals or perspectives on things, then the whole final product that they're trying to produce just won't be as good. So that's how I relate the music piece to my coaching, and that's why I'm so passionate also about helping people with collaborations, um, going through LinkedIn or anywhere, because it's just so much easier to attract quality leads when you have other people helping you rather than trying to do it yourself, because you only know a certain number of people. And then if you are tapping into other people's audiences, then that just totally expands your possibilities. So
That
it's
was that was like my brain kind of exploded, especially whenever you mentioned values. And,
right.
especially, as women in STEM, that's my niche is helping women in STEM and male dominated industries. It can be a contentious mix, especially when values are disparate. So what do we
Right.
do? How do you help people with that? That's fascinating. Tell us more.
Oh, well, it's the formula that I developed that has really helped with just helping people know what to do. I mean, you can use this formula in any situation. It doesn't have to be LinkedIn, but that's sort of the niche that I have started using, because a lot of people seem to want to learn and know about LinkedIn. And so this is just an easy way for them to relate to LinkedIn as something that's a valuable asset for them and not some scary thing that they don't know what to do with.
Yeah. And that's what it was for me at one point too. It was definitely a very, very, very scary of all the platforms. Like that was the scariest. But help us with the max value.
Okay, so the word value in this formula is an acronym. So every letter in the word value has something to do with succeeding on LinkedIn, really in business, but on LinkedIn as well. So I can go through all the letters now if you'd like.
Ooh, would love to. Yep. Because
Okay, so the V in the word value stands for vision and clarity. So this piece kind of, when you're in terms of LinkedIn, sometimes it um, doesn't compute, or people kind of skip over this particular step. But if your value, or if your vision and your clarity are not dialed in, then you won't be able to, you won't be clear enough to display what it is that you actually do, how you help people, what your specialty is, even what, if you know what your vision is, your ultimate vision for your business and your life and for the world, what legacy you want to leave, that whole piece. If that's not clear, then the clarity piece will probably not be clear at all. So clarity is all about who you help, what specialty that you do to help your people, rather than being just general. Because online and LinkedIn, where it is so noisy and just so many people on there, especially since the pandemic happened, people hopping online. Some people are joining LinkedIn every 3 seconds. And so you have to definitely differentiate yourself from all the other people that do the same thing that you do. And one way to do that, if you had your own methodology, like no one else has a max value formula, and so people can remember that. A lot of people do LinkedIn, but they don't have the max value formula. So try to think of some kind of methodology that you can put together. Doesn't have to be an acronym, or just something that relates to what you do and how you do it. And that'll be something that people will remember you by. That's one of the little tips that I can give.
awesome. Love
So,
it.
so that's the V, vision and clarity. So the next letter in the word value is A, and that stands for abundant visibility. And that has to do with your profile and your posts, all your posting that you do. So just so people can get to know who you are and get to just to know, like, and trust you. But the big thing about the profile, people don't seem to realize that if you're not even on LinkedIn, and let's say somebody's thinking about hiring you, and they're not really on LinkedIn, but they want to check you out, so they Google your name, and guess what's going to pop up really high up on your page? The LinkedIn link. So if your link is not up to date, if there are things that are on there that are wrong and it doesn't speak directly to that person, you've probably lost that opportunity, because they'll probably think, oh, okay, I guess I'll try somebody else then. So that's
That
why
is so important. I never thought about it from that point of view.
right. And so one time I spoke to this one coach, and she said, I don't really do LinkedIn that much, and it's really not my platform. So I said, okay. So, but then I just thought, okay, I'm going to Google her name and see what happens. So I Googled her name, the LinkedIn link popped up, and I clicked on it, and it was completely empty, her profile. No photo, nothing, like nothing on there. It was like she had never done anything. She had opened the account, but just didn't do anything after that. And so I went back to her and I said, did you know that your LinkedIn link is right on when people Google your name, it's right there, and there's nothing on your LinkedIn profile at all? She said, oh, she was mortified. She didn't realize that was happening. So she said, oh gosh, okay, I got to start working on this. So
Help.
right.
Right? OMG. Yeah, it's like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So visibility is really key, especially with online, so that people can really know who you are and understand that you actually get them, and that you understand that their problem and that you can actually solve it. So that's what the LinkedIn profile can do for you, because a lot of times people write, like in the about section, there's this big area where you can write a lot. I think you get like 2,300 characters or something. So most people write all about themselves on there, but that particular section should be about the person reading it. So it should be all about them reading it, not you, not you, so that they can be pulled in and resonate with you and want to reach out and connect with you. So that's the whole purpose of that particular section. And so many people don't understand it. And it's all
I
about.
agree with that. And this is an interesting perspective too. I know, most of your clients are coaches, but this goes true for even like new graduates.
Mm,
And I mean, anyone, right? It's just for everyone. And
mm-hmm,
to understand then, because a lot of people who may be looking for jobs or in that nature, they do come from that perspective of the about section, talking more about themselves rather than, even as, like I said, like a graduate or a candidate for a job, it can
mm-hmm.
be language that helps somebody understands what you do for the world.
Correct. Yes. Now, I don't actually help people who are looking for jobs. So I'm not, as far as uploading
Yeah.
a resume, I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe
That's more
that.
what I do, but
Oh, okay. So, but I could see that someone even looking for a job could write something in the about section that is about whoever's reading it, that
yeah.
speaks directly to that particular person. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Especially if you want to get hired, right? This is what I can do for an employer. Yeah.
right. Yeah. So the name of that particular section is about. So they're probably thinking, oh, about me, like their about their website.
Right. Everybody wants to know about me.
Right. That
Yeah.
is true. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is the A
Okay.
in abundant visibility. So the L in the word value stands for leverage collaboration with authentic relationships. And so the way that you can do that is when you have authentic relationships, and what that means is everything is genuine, nothing is fake. You're you're um, you're genuinely interested in that particular person and what they do, what their life is, and vice versa. The same with them, with you. So that's basically an authentic relationship. And so out of that, when you can collaborate with somebody like that, then you can get very high quality leads that will eventually, it could possibly lead into clients, because the person that they recommended, they trust that person that recommended you. So you've already gotten over that hump of getting, the whole know, like, and trust is sort of an indirect type of a thing, where they know, like, and trust you because that person that they know and like and trusts you. So yeah, it makes it so much easier for you to gain clients that way, because of that referral type of a relationship. And it doesn't have to be referrals either. It could be collaborations, like you and I are collaborating, and you can be on each other's platforms. You can do this. Oh, I guess this is the next one I'm going to be talking about. But yes, so the authentic relationships with collaborations, that's what you leverage on LinkedIn for sure.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. So then the U in value is unlimited opportunities. So this is where there are so many opportunities on LinkedIn, and you can reach out to people. You can there's
Yes.
there's so many, more than you can ever take advantage of in your entire business. Like,
Or
because
your life, like
your whole
everything. I agree. It has been, once I got over the scary piece of being on LinkedIn, I
yeah.
started to understand. I was like, oh my goodness, there's so much opportunity. Tell us
Yeah.
more. Tell us more.
Yeah. So another thing about, for the collaboration piece, the opportunity, you can provide opportunities for people. So let's say this is, well, I call them your assets, or the things that you can offer, provide for your people. Like, this is your asset, and this is my opportunity. And then you can flip it over. Like, if I did an interview with you in my Facebook group or something, that would be my asset and your opportunity. So every opportunity can flip flop. However, let's say you want to you want to be in a book and like contribute like an author in one of the chapters, that can be your opportunity. Or you can actually be the person to put it together. That's your asset to give other people opportunities. So that's why it's unlimited. It's just amazing. You just have to be creative and figure out what is it that you want to pursue. And that's what I help people do.
Yeah.
It's
And I can't even stress also and just mirror that whole idea is that I think what recently, LinkedIn has done for me is it's made somehow in this virtual space, it has made the idea of networking because I can tend to be a pretty introverted person, and especially in my engineering world, when I got into work and a problem, especially whenever I traveled, it seemed like I was very disconnected, especially back in the day when connection and social media wasn't even really a possibility. But
mhm.
somehow now all these things have lined up, and it literally is the more connections I make with all these amazing women out there, it is really a pleasure to just meet people and see what they do. And then
Right.
those creative opportunities start to be like, oh my goodness, just having a relationship with this person and letting them know who I am and finding out who they are. You see that reciprocity. And
Oh,
these
definitely.
these opportunities are just like, oh I never knew.
Right. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. And things just kind of feed off of the other. You have one opportunity, and then maybe somebody else, if you're going to be speaking with someone in an interview or something, someone else hears you, and then you've got another opportunity right there. So it just kind of snowballs once you just have to get out there and do it. That's one of the problems or the challenges that people have. They get scared. Oh, I don't know if I want to be in an interview, or what if I say the wrong thing, or just all of these things chattering in their head. So just do it. That whole
Yes. Oh,
saying.
say that again. Just get out there and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, just do it, and then you'll find out that it's not as bad as you thought. It's actually fun. I
It's
when
conquering your worst fear, really, which is, like if networking on LinkedIn is your worst fear, you know, like it once again, it's another opportunity to be like, oh, I can get over this obstacle and I can do these things. Awesome.
uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah, and one thing about LinkedIn is that it's not a selling platform. You don't sell on it, like Facebook ads or whatever. There are LinkedIn ads, but I think those are for the big businesses, or just when
Yeah.
you're just regular individual people. It's more of a relationship building platform, so that people just can check you out and get to know you, and you can get to know them. And then if they feel like they want to reach out to you to learn more about you, then you take that off of LinkedIn and you just do that. Um, and then people can hire you. But that's on LinkedIn. I'm sure most people, when they're on LinkedIn, as soon as someone connects with you, have you ever experienced, oh, here, buy my stuff, and they don't even know who you are? And then they say, when they want to connect with you, and they say, oh, I loved your profile. It's a great profile. And then you look over in the section where you can see well, if you have a free account, you can see the previous like 3 to 5 people who had seen your profile. If you look over there and you don't see that person, then you know that
Yeah.
they're saying that. So I make sure if I say that I really enjoyed your profile, I say something about it. It's like commonality is really important as well. You look on the profile, and if there's something that is common between the two of you, then you mention that in your invite to connect. Say, oh, I noticed we went to the same school, or I noticed you do this, I do that too. And so that immediately begins the whole process of an authentic relationship, because they know that you actually did look at their profile. uh,
Yes.
and then
So if we can, I'd love to slow this piece down a bit and kind of just digest through it.
okay.
Because what you're saying, I'm spot on. I've received those messages on LinkedIn where it's like, a connect and a sell. And they have no idea, obviously, what I'm doing. And because I'm active on LinkedIn, I'm getting more comfortable with the space.
Mm,
So what it has done for me too is it actually heightens my awareness also to human relationships.
right.
So then I say,
Absolutely.
"Oh, wait a minute, like how do I behave in the real world when I'm not virtual?" Because I like to take that and actually hyper extend it in the virtual world, knowing that people are busy. Especially a lot of my people, when I connect with them, it may take them actually a couple months until they even might notice a connection because they're just busy people. So I try
Right.
and really slow that down. And I do make a very, very, I go onto everybody's profiles when I'm making a connection. I'm very
Good.
sincere about how I go about that. And even when I make every attempt to make it very authentic, very genuine, and I'm just trying to build a relationship originally, there still are very prickly people out there.
Yes. Yes. The other day,
So,
someone told me the other day that sometimes guys like to pick her up on LinkedIn. Like, what? Really?
really? That's
So,
interesting.
yeah, it's a good thing that you can actually block people
Yes.
on there. So,
Yeah. So, and I have a strategy and I'm comfortable with mine and because on some level, if you're not out there doing it on I'll say a regular basis and you're not comfortable, it does make some of these interactions very interesting because I want to be, mindful and respectful and use it as a networking platform, but not everybody's necessarily ready either. So it is interesting.
right. Very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, you have to kind of cut through that kind of salesy-ish stuff that's going on in there. So the whole culture, I'm trying to help, and other people as well are trying to help LinkedIn change the culture from salesy to building relationships, and I guess networking. Uh, the networking, I'm not sure if networking, the actual word networking resonates with me that much. I'm not
Ah,
sure. Just building relationships
ah,
seems more resonant to me.
yes. Agreed. I do agree with that because, like networking has always been, a very scary thing for me. And
Yeah, like
it kind of brings up a whole kind all kinds of stuff.
yeah. It makes me think of like pitching, like doing your elevator
Oh.
pitch thing, and and so that's very,
Oh.
unauthentic,
Oh.
to
That's
me.
interesting. So for me, and maybe because I was in the world of engineering, so if
Mhm.
I'm going to an engineering conference and networking with other engineers, I think
Mm,
it's more because it's very stereotypical, but think of a room full of engineers
right. Yes.
and kind of nobody really wants to talk to each other. that's that's more what I come to think. I'm like in this place where it's like, oh, I'm just a shy person. I'm not comfortable and not necessarily wanting to make relationships. That's what networking means to me.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That is very interesting. And then, so engineers, that's like a totally different audience or different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
but the formula still works. And where are we? We got to the U.
yeah, the unlimited opportunities. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
cool.
And so, do you want to do the last one, the
Oh
E?
yeah, I didn't want to veer too far off
Oh,
the conversation, but that I think that was really important to just talk about networking and relationships. And it's interesting
relationships.
because everybody seems to be coming to this same platform with all kinds of different beliefs,
Right.
right?
Some people don't like networking at all. Like they don't even do it on, the in-person kind.
Oh,
That
yes.
And some people just when they go to LinkedIn, they don't really think of it as LinkedIn. I mean, they don't really think of it as networking. They just think of it as growing people's growing relationships, or they think of it as selling to people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very polarized.
Yes, very, very much so, for
Yeah.
sure.
Cool.
So the E in value stands for expand your reach. And what that means is you can have one person that you're collaborating with, which is really great. You can leverage their audience and they can leverage yours. But what if you had multiple collaboration partners? What if you had a little team of collaboration partners that were sort of doing their own things, either two, like what if you had 5 people that like every month or so you would get together and talk about the following quarter, let's say every quarter or month, you would get together and you would talk about what kind of collaboration projects they could do together, either all 5 of them, or like maybe one person has an event coming and the other 4 would be help get people to that particular event, or and that would be like an arrangement that each person would have their own events happening, and the other 4 would be the helpers, like to be the ones to get people there, kind of like affiliates, maybe, possibly. There are different types of collaboration relationships, and then the affiliates, and the just regular referrals. And like I have a list of things that I put together, like 8 or 9 different types of collaboration relationships that you can put together. And if you really wanted to get into it, you could have 10 people, or it's unlimited, really. That goes back to the unlimited opportunities. So it's amazing. So that's why I try to help people just kind of expand their whole perspective on it, that you don't have to have just one person that you collaborate with. You can have as many as you want, and you can even have little clusters, like here's a little cluster of people here, and then another little one here, and then each one sort of combined, like everyone benefits from it. But like maybe this cluster is doing a project, another one is doing another project, but they're all like combined and linked together and benefiting from each other. And you would have different themes, like the little titles, like if you have a health and wellness team or something like that. If people would be able to do that and collaborate with each other, health coaches, practitioners, like they can all be together, and even business related people, because health and business, if you don't have good health, then you can't run a business well. So those are 2 good collaborative type of industries that they can get together. And so it's just endless, the possibilities of this
Well,
whole.
that is, I mean, that's once again, you're kind of blowing my mind, even from, the perspective of, my audience,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because what I know about my audience is, number one, is definitely women in STEM and women in male dominated industries are still largely feeling rather isolated
Mm.
and tackling huge obstacles sometimes by themselves.
Oh, wow.
So whenever you say, and when you talk about collaboration like you just did, that was wonderful. And I don't know that, I've heard people talk about, collaboration, and it sounds like a great idea, and they kind of hint on it. And because it sounds, kind of attractive from a very high level, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, well, who wouldn't want to do that? But you're the first time that you kind of helped me get into the place where it's like, well, how do you do it? And what happens inside those collaborative environments? And what are the possibilities? And
Right.
for the first time, then I'm like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great? Because, women are notoriously bad negotiators. Wouldn't it be great to have a collaborative team in for, let's say my quarterly goal is to get through my performance review.
Okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
interested in these groups, right? Is this like, wow, wouldn't it be nice to have like this pop-up tent of supportive women that are all voting for you and cheering for you and helping you get through some of these obstacles?
Right.
That's powerful.
It is, yeah, that's just amazing. You can actually do anything. You can customize it however you want it to be. But the first thing is you have to know what it is that you want down the road, and everyone else should be on the same plane and on the same page with that as well. So then you just get together and brainstorm on how you can get to there. And like one person might do the one thing, another one, they have different roles or something that will help them get to that final destination.
Yeah.
So
So it's a
very,
bit of work. It's not like, it's not like pie in the sky. It's not rainbows and unicorns. It's like, okay,
right,
collaboration is a thing and it's powerful, but you kind of have to go with a strategy. You have to go with an intent and you have to be an equal partner in communicating, I would imagine, what you want to get and how you can help.
right. And everyone in the team should be all on board on the same page. And yes, definitely. And but of course, people have differences and they can iron things out, but as long as they're like-minded to each other, they have similar values and goals and aspirations, it'll be a lasting relationship because they have the similar vision to help the world. That's the ultimate thing, is to helping the world get better.
I love that because actually that's one of my key questions whenever I help my clients define their unstoppable goals is
Oh, okay.
what is the benefit to the world,
I love that. Yes.
right?
Yes.
I love max value. That was really, really powerful.
Right. So that is true. Actually, I do have an event coming up pretty soon. I actually do it every couple of months. So if you're listening to this and this has already happened, I'm going to be doing it again soon. But on May 16th to 20th, I'm doing a 5-day. It's a challenge, but it's called Collaborate to Cash Blueprint, and it's going to go over the max value formula. We're going to have every day. There's going to be a little action steps to do, and just to move yourself a little bit further into that whole LinkedIn experience. This is all related to LinkedIn. And so it'll be fun we'll talk. One of the days we'll talk about the profile. I think that's during the second day when we talk about abundant visibility. And so by the end of the 5 days, you should have at least one appointment with a possible like-minded collaboration partner, and it's the possibility of at least 10 to 20 quality leads. So once you do that, by the time you end that, you'll have those things if you like go through all the different steps with me. So
And is that 5 consecutive days?
It is, and it's 2 p.m. Eastern for about 30 to 40 minutes. It's not that long.
Oh.
Monday through Friday, May 16 through 20. And the link to that is called Collaborate to Cash Blueprint.com.
Okay, cool. I will make sure for sure. I always at the end, I'll go through and add the links in the show notes to make that easy. But that is so awesome. I love it. So only about 30 minutes, less than an hour a day for 5 days. And they're going to walk out with a collaborative opportunity, at least one.
At least one. And then from that, you'll have leads that, quality leads that you'll be able to
The
take
most important, right?
Yeah.
For coaches anyways, right? Yeah.
Right, definitely. So I'm excited about it. People always love it. I've done it a couple of times before, and they get the energy of, because every day, there's a grand prize at the end. There are little giveaways from Tuesday to Friday. There are little giveaways that I give away. So, and people they want to get it. And, I have a spinning, the spinning wheel. I have one of those that it's random. It just stops on somebody's name. So it makes it fun. So it's a gamification feature as well.
So they're going to walk away with leads, a collaborative opportunity, and they're going to have fun. Sounds amazing. Cool.
Right.
So I do have a couple other questions for you. I'm curious about, and maybe it's on LinkedIn, but you're definitely a success specialist. What brought you to that space to own that, I'll say that title?
The title. Well, I'm thinking this roots back to my music as well. When I teach my students, I still do teach clarinet lessons. They have, it's kind of a little contest, and they have to do every time they have their lesson, they have to play scales that I ask them. Can you play the B flat scale? And so I go through all the scales that they're supposed to know. And if every one of them is perfect, they get a point. So, and they get a happy face for each one that they get perfect. So by the end of the year, we keep track of all of these, and whoever has the most points wins a gold medal. They get a little medal with gold, and then they get the second place gets a silver, the third place gets a bronze. And so they really strive to get to that point to get a medal. They do. Everyone does get a certificate, even if they just had one. So that is I've sort of feel that is my way of helping people become successful when they have something they have to work for and get rewarded for it. And so that's kind of how I do with the coaching as well. Anytime anybody has any kind of win or something that moves the needle for them, they get all of this praise and recognition just so that they want to keep going. The motive keeps them motivated. So that's sort of how the whole success strategy is for me. It's all based on the clarinet, the scale, it's the perfect scale club. So
I love it. And that's so important too. A lot of my people are, dealing with, I'll say, imposter syndrome, or they think they are,
Yeah.
and that's like so defeating. Because a lot of times there are a lot of obstacles out there kind of pushing back and influencing that, even when it's absolutely not true. So the more we can advocate for those successes and helping, people, especially my women are like out there killing it, and they're thinking like they're imposters. It's craziness. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's great.
I love that tip. That was priceless.
Thank
And
you.
the last question I have is you talk about being heart-based.
Yes.
Tell us where that comes from and what that really means to you.
It actually is just another way of saying authentic, heart-based, authentic. When I got formal training on sales training, I made sure that I found a place or found somewhere that wasn't the traditional salesy approach. So I did find an organization where it all is focuses on being authentic, coming from a place of honesty, integrity, compassion. And that I knew that would resonate with the coaches, that they would just be turned off by that other the other salesy kind of type training.
Right.
So that's the main reason why I did that, because I just knew that they wouldn't resonate with that. And so when I started teaching them the different the coming from that place of honesty, compassion, and integrity, then they feel more comfortable when they have to come to like a sales situation, like when they're going to be doing sales calls or something like that. They can come from a place of honesty and compassion. And in fact, I have two. It's called the authentic selling method, and selling is an acronym. So selling stands for support, educate, love, lean in, inspire, nurture, and guide. That's what that. So they memorize that and think of those words when they're in a selling situation. And also sales is an acronym as well. I guess you can tell I love acronyms.
Yes, but hold on, because even selling, and then we want to get to sales, but selling, once again, is everything. Even if you're not in a sales position,
Right.
even if you're an engineer, if you're a scientist, you're a researcher, everything in life is selling.
That's
so
true.
All of those things still apply. I love it. Okay, take us through. Can you do selling one more time?
Sure. Support, educate, love, lean in, inspire, nurture, and guide. So you're actually guiding the person to where you want to take them, but you're doing it in a way, in a supportive way, so that they can know, like, and trust you and want to follow you and things like that. So for sales, it's serve, be authentic, listen every step.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought of those a few years back, and I was thinking, yes, I know we're going to be around those words forever, selling and sales. You might as well just flip the meaning of them by thinking of those words relating to them rather than
Yeah.
the stigma of
Yeah, because I think that's true. It's very, very true. With that, whatever your career is, whether you're selling or not, you're really selling, and there is a lot of value that you add in the work that you do. I love it.
yeah, yeah. So
Cool. So, in closing, Wendi, do you have a quote to share with the audience?
oh yes, I do. I wish this was a woman's quote, but this is Steve Jobs' quote. It says, "The ones who think they're crazy enough to change the world are the ones that usually do." I love that.
So true. So true. We do love that quote. Awesome.
Yes.
Wendi, thank you so much for all that you do. And I will certainly make sure to include that link in the show notes. Is there any other links or ways that you would love us to get in touch with you?
Oh, well, my website is linkedprosperity.com. You can just take a look at that. I have a free gift there. If you want to, it's not LinkedIn related, it's client attraction related. So you can just take a look there. And also, my email is wendy@wendyhatton.com. You can just reach out that way too. And of course, if you're on LinkedIn, you can find me there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wendi. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
Thank you for being a part of the conversation, for inspiring women's leadership. Coffee Time with Kauffman is the comfortable place to discuss women's leadership, because I am on a mission to help the world discover the truth about what women are capable of. When you are ready for your leadership mastery makeover, go to mariakaufman.com and click on Consult a Coach, where you can schedule time with me for an empowerment session. Have a great week. Enjoy your adventures and journey responsibly.